I'm going to use alignments to show the justifications for steps in a display. In this display, justifications are shown using underbrace and underset. I think this would be clearer and tidier with line breaks at the steps whose justifications are given, with the justifications themselves appearing parenthetically in the same line as the step. This display was coded with an aligned star environment. That's not exactly the environment that I'd use, but it will work as a starting point. We'll use alignments not only for the relational operators, but also to align the justifications. I'm redefining underset to put the justifications in parentheses and align them. With this definition, I also need to move the pieces of code using underset. And I need to be sure to move the period so that it will appear at the end of the modified display. The other piece of work is removing the underbraces and adding a line break and an alignment character before the second and fourth relational operators. I like this a lot more than the underbraces and undersets. The amount of horizontal space before the justifications isn't terrible, but it is more than I'd prefer. We can get control over the horizontal spacing by using alignat star instead of align star. Using alignat star, we must specify the number of right-left alignment pairs that we'll use. In this case, 2. Let's first see what happens only changing the environment. Obviously, we need to add some space. I'll add a quad. I think this looks a bit better than the space that was given by align star. The difference can be more dramatic. The remainder of this video will, I hope, clarify why I added 2 ampersands before the parenthetical justifications in the example display, and how we control horizontal spacing with alignat star. Here is a play example of an alignat star with 2 right-left alignment pairs. If you compare the code in the display, you can see that in a given line, whatever comes before the first ampersand is in a right-aligned box. What's between the first and second ampersands is in a left-aligned box, and so on. The width of each box is equal to the widest corresponding box among all the lines. For example, the first left-aligned box in the first line is wider than its contents. Its width is the width of the box containing equals left-left. The alignments alternate in the same way with align star, but align star adds space between the right-left pairs, evenly spreading the space across the width of the page. With, for example, pairs of short equations, the spacing can look silly. Let's make the equations here even shorter, just for kicks. Of course, with alignat star, we need to add some space. Adding a quad between each right-left pair would work, but it's only necessary to add a quad in one row if I choose wisely. A final note about align star and alignat star. There is an empty OR at the beginning of each left-aligned box. So if you have a relational operator at the beginning of a left-aligned box, that is the first thing after an ampersand, you'll get the correct spacing around the operator. If the operator is before the ampersand, you will not. We can see this by modifying our example. Let's undo that change.